At 16, I'm successful. And it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Let me explain. What if you could do anything, but nothing felt right? What if every door was open to you and you still felt lost? I stand here tonight as a straight A student, a hardworking, ambitious straight A student who has no idea what she wants out of life. I should feel empowered by the endless opportunities ahead of me. Instead, I feel paralyzed. Because when everything is an option, how do you choose? As I was writing this TED Talk, I had exactly 20 days left to make an important decision. This year, I need to decide what classes I will be taking for the next 2 years of my life. Now, not only does this determine the weekly workload I will have, but it also decides the opportunities I have after graduation. So, like every other student, I sat down and looked at the list that was given to us, showing every option we could choose. Only, I found myself circling every option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 31, 45. 45 class hours. That's not allowed. Impossible. Unfeasible. But at the thought of cutting down on my options, I was seized by an intense panic. The kind of panic you experience when you forget to take your phone with you to the bathroom. I was stuck, to say the least. 20 days to make a choice I felt I would regret. Now I know what you're thinking. This girl is absolutely crazy. You can say it, I give you permission. But I'm not crazy. The only thing I am is afraid. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of succeeding at the wrong thing, of spending years walking down a path only to realize I never wanted to be there in the first place. My fear is regret. Why? Because I'm good at everything. Absolutely everything. Except for being bad at things. And maybe being humble. I love learning. I love school. No matter the subject, I always find myself interested. As a kid, I would breeze through encyclopedias like they were oxygen and I needed to breathe. My biggest strength is adaptability. If I don't know something, I will take the time and put in the work to learn it. But somewhere along the way, this hunger for knowledge, this spark for learning, took a backseat to fear. Not of failure, but of not knowing what I actually want. Because here's the truth. I have no idea where I want to go or what I want to do. I'm completely and utterly lost. With all these capabilities and all this knowledge, I have so many paths ahead of me. Yet somehow, not a single one leads to happiness. At the end of every tunnel, I see nothing. Not excitement, not purpose, just achievement. Just proof that I got there. Success, but at what cost? In my race to achieve, I wasn't really living. I wasn't doing things just for the sake of it. I wasn't experiencing life. I was optimizing it. This leads to something I call CV mania. I'm involved in just about every single project my school has to offer. Extracurriculars, clubs, events, name a time and a place, I will be there. My CV is looking absolutely insane right now. Do I have a single hobby? Does aggressively organizing Google Calendar count? Next question, please. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm complaining about being perfect. The number of things I've accomplished this year alone is incredible. On paper, I looked like the prime example of an academic weapon. In fact, I'd even go as far as to call myself an academic nuclear weapon. The perfect student. Unfortunately, my intensely busy schedule and overpacked days don't really allow for a normal, healthy life. In reality, I've been running on fumes and caffeine. I'm far from perfect, or at least it doesn't feel like it. When success becomes the standard, it stops being an achievement. It's just expected. And if you have to sacrifice your health and your happiness to reach it, then how is that any different from failure? Now, I don't know if you know this, but overworking yourself to death and being in a chronic state of stress isn't exactly good for you. Throughout this year, every night going to bed, I'd collapse, usually around 2 a.m., exhausted but unable to sleep. My mind wouldn't stop racing. Projects unfinished, exams looming, expectations suffocating. I'd stare at the ceiling, heart pounding, wondering how much longer I could keep this up. I knew there was something wrong with this, but my perfectionism wouldn't get the hint. It was just a matter of time until I completely burnt myself out. Burnout isn't just a feeling. It's a measurable physiological state. Research shows that chronic stress increases cortisol levels, which in turn can lead to anxiety, sleep deprivation, and even memory loss. I suffer from chronic migraines. There isn't anything inherently wrong with my head. It's just stress. And okay, maybe my sleep schedule of approximately 3 hours a night doesn't help, but that's kind of serious. Stress and fear have long term impacts on your well being. Studies show that high achieving students are twice as likely to suffer from chronic anxiety. We praise resilience, but when does resilience just become self destruction in disguise? One night, after overworking myself yet again, no, one night, after working myself to exhaustion yet again, I found myself alone, sitting at my desk. Another stress induced migraine making my head throb. I looked at my never ending and never shrinking to do list, and I felt utterly drained. Like I was drowning in expectations, buried under the weight of my own ambition. I had everything I had ever worked for, opportunities and options. I sat in the oppressive silence. And it's then, for the first time, that I asked myself, is this really what success is supposed to feel like? That single question echoed loud and clear and made me realize something. For years, I convinced myself that if I just did more, achieved more, learned more, then maybe, just maybe, I'd feel certain. I know what I want. But instead of feeling secure, I felt hollow. I had let fear build my resume, mistaking busyness for purpose. But passion doesn't operate that way. Passion doesn't fill up your schedule, it fills up your soul. Fear is armor, it weighs you down, convinces you to prepare more, to achieve more, to protect yourself from the unknown, from choosing the wrong path. And it is, without a doubt, the most exhausting and mentally taxing form of motivation. I let fear make my decisions for me. For years, I let fear guide me to do everything, to be everything, and then a little bit more just in case. I've spent my whole life gathering pieces, forming a mosaic of grades, projects, leadership roles, hoping that these pieces will come together and reveal the picture of my future. I've been stacking up these achievements, trying to protect myself from uncertainty. But passion isn't armor, it's fire. Passion grabs you by the heart and it never lets go. It sets you on fire not with expectation or pressure, but with something deeper, something that makes you feel truly alive. Passion isn't about achievement, it's about presence. No, it's about enjoying the process rather than chasing the outcome. I'm afraid of making a choice that doesn't make the long nights, the headaches, the exhaustion worth something. Passion isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing to act despite fear. It's the difference between feeling drained at the end of a busy day or feeling inspired. I'm done letting fear make my decisions for me. I'm done picking things just because they look good on my CV or because they might get me more opportunities. From now on, I'm going to be choosing things that fuel me, not drain me. And for the first time, I won't let fear decide for me. So, here's what I ask you to do: take a step back, slow down, look at your life, your choices, your commitments. Ask yourself why you're doing them. Prioritize what excites you, what makes you lose track of time. Success without balance isn't success, it's survival. Of course, breaking free from this fear is going to take work, and a lot of it. It's not easy to let go of these self destructive habits. However, I found a way to help me take little steps towards breaking free from fear based decision making. I call it the 3D rule: drop, deny, direct. One, drop the rope. If you find yourself getting roped into new projects or clubs or extracurriculars that you don't feel particularly passionate about, drop the rope. Someone else will step up. Two, direct your energy. Replace that exhausting extracurricular you took just because it might be impressive to colleges with another that you truly enjoy, even if it might not be as impressive. Art, music, or a book club. Go back to your childhood passions. And three, deny unnecessary commitments. We're always told we should say yes to things more. Well, I say we should start saying no. Implement a no quota. Every week, try to say no at least once to something that doesn't excite you. Dropping commitments can be terrifying, especially if you've relied on busyness as a distraction from fear. But taking this first step, doing these three things can help you overcome this fear slowly and give you the space to find new things that you're passionate about. In the end, for my subject choices, I chose balance. Some classes I took because they were important to my future. Others I took simply because they fulfill me. That was my first step. And now it's your turn. Because at the end of the day, a CV full of achievements might open doors. But the only thing that will make you want to walk through them is passion. Success isn't just measured in awards, grades, or acceptance letters. It's measured in how deeply you experience life. I may not know my final destination, but I refuse to walk any path that isn't lit by passion and purpose. I refuse to mistake burnout for ambition. So ask yourself, what sets your heart on fire? And are you brave enough to follow it? Thank you.